It's all about what we are doing, to what end, and how are we doing it. It's about gathering and mobilizing the inner resource of energy skillfully to get up, to get us mobilized, and to keep us on track. On track of letting go of as much stress as is possible and cultivating as much ease of well-being as is possible. So let's keep bringing this concept of right effort alive on and off the cushion. That's the point. We aren't just developing a meditation practice on the cushion to the exclusion of the rest of our life. We're developing a view, a way of looking and feeling and relating well, safely, caringly to ourselves and to our life, to how it is in here and how it is out there, to the interconnected world we live in. Mindfulness invites us to inhabit a view that is more humane, that is kinder and wiser than how we normally go about our business. So I'd like to go back to that driving example I used the other day, because it's a common activity that we do, have done, or at least have had close secondhand experience as a passenger, with an eye on how we use the resource of energy. We decide that it's time to go grocery shopping. We can't procrastinate any longer. We mobilize. We do the needful. We mentally and physically get up and get ourselves ready. We don our shoes, our boots, our sneakers, our sandals, our coat. We grab the grocery list, the shopping bags, and then we're off to our car. We muster up the energy. We collect that inner energy and then employ that inner energy, gathering the outward externals that we need, and we collect ourselves. And then we get into the car. We situate ourselves. We arrange ourselves more or less onto the car seat, the specific one that we're sitting on, right? So our body is centered with the pedals and the controls. We turn the car on, and likely we check to feel if the seat is the right distance from the pedals and the controls, and that our hands can comfortably reach the steering wheel without strain. We check and adjust the windows and the mirrors, right? To make sure that we can see out of all sides. Maybe we turn the radio on and adjust or fiddle with the settings there. We turn the heat on or the AC on or off. And we haven't even left the driveway. We've just done a lot of work, but we haven't left the driveway. But all of this noticing and feeling and adjusting, these are necessary technicalities that have to be done to take our seat. We need to do all of these things to notice and feel and adjust whenever we take our seat, whether it's on the cushion or in the car or in a car, your friends, a rental, and potentially every seat you alight upon today. We can do this on automatic pilot. We've done it many times. Or we can do these very things with mindfulness. Okay, I'm making a pitch for mindfulness because it's safer, it's kinder, and it's wiser. So pause right here and ask, where are we in all of this? Where's our heart in all of this? I mean, doesn't it matter if we get into the car and we've just had a fight, a disagreement, or a snag with our partner? Doesn't that linger and bleed into the next moment? Or maybe we've taken our medication and it affects our vision ever so slightly or causes a little bit of drowsiness. Or perhaps we didn't sleep well last night, again, after several nights of insomnia. Or we're distracted or preoccupied with a sick relative or a project at work, or simply engrossed in a podcast that we have in our ears. Don't these conditions affect how much energy we have, where our energy is placed, how we're going to react? doesn't it have a potential effect on the outcome? On what we notice? In fact, which activity is it we're giving more attention to? The podcast or our ability to see out of the side mirrors? We might not notice that until we can't see them, until we can't see out of them, until it's too late. So this is why I encourage mindfulness, and I actually think it's a really good idea, because mindfulness and its orientation, it orients effort towards safety, towards well-being. And that becomes real, practical, and humane in our everyday life. Because right here, in an average everyday moment, we can shift out of a very technical doing and into a sensing, a tuning in from inside and feeling and adjusting that posture. Now, that posture of caring attention, as if a wise, caring elder, a parent or a dear friend, was watching, was encouraging, was kindly and wisely steering the moment, steering our attention towards less stress and more ease of well-being, towards noticing and adjusting in real time how to do that. This, in and of itself, is a wholesome act, an act of kindness and wisdom, and it takes energy and effort. This directing of energy towards alignment, towards attunement, in the general direction of care and attention, is wholesome. It's active. It's an energetic expression, a bodily and mental expression of non-harm. These are the meditative moves of right effort. We are using energy in the service of paying attention with care to the present moment. This baseline setup matters because, now let's just jump ahead for a moment. We're on the road, and imagine that a driver cuts dangerously close in front of us. Bam! How we have just woken up into reality. How quickly can we wake up and come to our senses and steer clear of disaster? The baseline condition of our mind and heart matters very much when we're met with unpredictability. And yep, mindfulness does a nice job to keep setting the stage for the best possible outcome. It says, hey buddy, before we do anything, let's pause for a second, check in. How's it going in here? It taps you on the shoulder in the middle of the drive and says, hey, how you doing? Where are we headed right now? Are we going in the right direction? Are you abiding by the speed limit? Are you paying attention to the signs, to the other drivers? Before, during, and after, how you doing? What you doing? Yes, technically, what are you doing? But with what attitude and with what basic knowledge are you employing the resource of this energy? Oh my goodness. Because in the heat of the moment, it matters that we can steer clear of danger. Mindfulness says, oh, this is not a technical process. It's so much more goes into the moment. Our emotions come into the moment. Our busy minds come into the moment. The stress of our body comes into the moment. Mindfulness asks us to check in and to feel the process. How does it feel in there? How does it feel in there? And adjust, not once, but many times. Keep adjusting because it's always changing. That said, the starting point, the outset of any activity, we can learn to employ the right effort of mindfulness to set the stage, establish the foundation for a process to unfold as best as possible. We can fasten our seatbelts, we stabilize the camera, we get balance before we begin to walk, before we begin to drive, before we sit. We get our balance, we stabilize, we find our seat, take our stand, find our ground, and then off we go, until we get rudely awakened, back into the now. And whether it's on or off the cushion, en route to the grocery store, or in the middle of a sitting, when attention whirlpools around a vortex of thinking, mindfulness can say, hey, buddy, come back here. Come back and sit with me. Let's hold this freak out till it subsides. Oh my goodness, let's restabilize, let's orient, let's remember, oh right, ease of well-being, that's what we're doing. Oh, we're going to the grocery store, that's what we're doing. Non-harm, that's the aim. Little course corrections all along the way. So we steer out of disaster. So we keep going in the direction that's helpful to us. This is right effort. The setting up and the redirecting back, steering back home. This strengthens the muscle of right effort. Recalibrating that sense of stability, this strengthens the muscle of right effort. This makes use of this valuable, precious, finite inner energy that we want to aim at our well-being. This is good practice. Engaging the effort in the service of well-being. We can do this. We can do this. Thank you for your interest and your attention.